Get to tweet us your thoughts during the program using the hashtag #DailyDana. All right, so you remember how Planned Parenthood was caught on tape laughing about murdering babies and selling their body parts for profit illegally, right? Really felonious things that they were engaged in. I wish that I was making all of that up, any of it up. I wish it was deceptively edited, but as you know, that's actually exactly what happened. So since then, there's been a lot of discussion about defunding. The GOP has said that it's vitally important to do so. A number of lawmakers have all gone on the record saying, well, we need to do this. It's going to be of utmost importance, but apparently not to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. He didn't get that memo, and he says we can't.
To get the outcome that we like. The president's made it very clear he's not going to sign any bill that includes defunding of Planned Parenthood. So that's another issue that awaits a new president, hopefully with a different point of view about Planned Parenthood.
What a stand-up guy. I mean, honestly, when you're not willing to risk the media hit to prevent selling infanticide, murdered body parts, why do you even get up in the morning? Honestly. I mean, what's the point? They're afraid of a media narrative? Tom McClusky of March for Life joins me to discuss the continuing efforts to defund this monstrous organization. Tom, I have to tell you, first off, welcome to the program. Appreciate what you do. I'm outraged that Mitch McConnell is more terrified of the New York Post's reaction and seems to seek their good opinion more so than he values the opinion of the voters who gave him his seat.
Right. It's not exactly leadership to come out front and say we're not going to fight because we think we're going to lose. I don't think that's really the quotes of many major leaders. And he's just giving up despite all these videos, not even giving us time to get these videos out more, something that a vote would do.
Right. And I mean, they're not even back from recess officially yet. I mean, September 8th is when they're all back in D.C. And the first item of business, I mean, to say nothing of what happened with Iran, but the first item of business is for them to wave the white flag on this because he thinks that the president's going to veto it. So what's the point? Isn't the point just showing that they own this, that they're willing, that the administration, they're willing to risk a government shutdown to hold Americans hostage to funding this monstrous organization and the felonious actions they've been taking?
No, I agree. When we were fighting to pass partial birth abortion, we passed it a number of times when President Clinton was in office. And it showed a distinct contrast between pro-life and pro-abortion views. Here, what Mitch McConnell's doing, and I think it's wrong to blame for leadership to blame the president and the president alone on this. Yes, he'd most likely veto it, but that's his decision to make. But even when President Bush, W. Bush, was in power, as was Senator McConnell and Majority Leader Boehner, Planned Parenthood funding actually went up at times during those years. So there needs to be a lot of change up in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, a lot of change. So he said that that's not happening in the Senate, but what about the House? I mean, what kind of actions do we see? I mean, they control the power of the purse, so what are you hoping to see at least from the House side of things?
Well, I think what we'll probably see is both a standalone vote, and I can't imagine a continuing resolution or an omnibus passing without, there's close to at least 24, if not more, members of the House who say they will not vote for any bill, end-of-year spending bill, that doesn't include defunding Planned Parenthood. So what I would like to see is that the House pass such a piece of legislation that defunds Planned Parenthood, then send it to the Senate, and we'll see how they react.
Yeah, and they're already signaling that they're terrified because this is what Democrats have done every single time something like this has happened, Tom. Republicans want to defund government. It's not Republicans choosing to defund government. I mean, it is a party, as you were saying, not really just this administration either, and a couple of Republicans as well that have been wanting to just hold, like I said earlier, for us to subsidize this, for this to be a public organization that receives federal dollars and refuses to be transparent as to how that public money is being spent, and for Congress to just shrug off holding them accountable for that. To me, I mean, I don't know. We need new leadership, I think. Do you think, Tom, that this is going to be something that do you think that this will at least perhaps make it to the president's desk? Do you think that it really will come up in a CR, or is this going to play out like McConnell said, and we're not going to see any more of this until after 2016?
I don't want to be like Mitch McConnell and make those predictions, because especially when you're talking to activists, when you're talking to people,
Right.
when it's something like this, it's black and white. Those Planned Parenthood videos expose that organization for what it is. It's an abortion industry. So it's now should be up to Congress to defund it. And if it doesn't get through, they should at least fight. The
Right.
people want to see them fighting when they're facing such obscenity. And to give up before if any fight, that just discourages the American people and hurts the election much more than any government shutdown would.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Always worried about the polls. And with this, I mean, we know that more videos are expected to come out, and particularly the latest one, where, you know, they're just talking about how, well, the fetus just falls out. I mean, I'm looking at this thinking, how can there not at least, I mean, we know that there are subcommittees that are carrying out investigations, but to me, there's enough footage here to bring about charges. I mean, in my opinion.
I would think so, too. Unfortunately, some of the laws that we're talking about here were written when pro-abortion Democrats were in power. They were written by people like Henry Waxman with the help of Planned Parenthood. So what I'm hoping from these hearings, and more so the investigation from congressional, but more so the hearings, is that we can raise the profile further on these videos. Most Americans still have not seen these videos. I mean, the mainstream media is not helping our case at all, of course.
Yeah.
So hearings will help bring these videos up. The attention, and also what Planned Parenthood actually is, so that if we aren't successful in defunding Planned Parenthood this time around, we can start building and growing the base of people who want it to be done.
Tom McClusky, Vice President, Government Affairs, March for Life. Find him at T McClusky on Twitter. Tom, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I was reading this story where Mitch McConnell is saying, oh, well,